You don't need this on the board.
Forgive us on this one. We had to take a praise break, and Apostle just came out late, so she's talking, but we just tell God thank you anyway for his goodness, for his grace and his mercy. As I was saying before we had got back off, I thank God. Anybody who is anointed, which we all are, to carry the word of God, but has the position of standing before the people behind the podium, or whether you just minister intensive body, you want to always know, I believe I speak for everybody, that you heard from God, and what you heard from God, that you can properly convey it to whomever he's telling you to speak to. The prayer that was made in this place on today was an awesome, soul-changing, life-touching prayer. And I tell God, thank you so much for the vessel that he used. I thank God for the words that he placed down in her heart to say, because the prayer truly is my message on today. She prayed, and everything that she prayed was the word of God. And I look for things for God to show me that I heard him. I don't want to do this for form. I do not want to do this for fashion. I do not want to lead anybody astray, because I realize whenever we do stand up and we name the name of God, and God position us in a place or a position to give out his word, that whatever is given out to us or to the people that we're supposed to give it out to, the blood is on our hands if we don't do it in the correct way, or we don't do it the way God sees fit. So I don't want to be able to stand before God and he say, well, no, I told you to say this and you didn't say that, or I told you to say that and you said this instead of saying that. So I tell God, thank you for confirmation on today. I am Sister Danny. I will not be before you long, I promise. But what I'm going to do with you all today is to have a conversation with you, because that's how God instructed me to go. I challenge you to discover the power of the word of God. That's what God told me to tell you. He also told it for me, don't get me wrong, because I understand too that we have to be, the husbandman must first be first partaker of what he is giving out. So he also challenged me to discover the word of God. And he told me to tell you that this is not limited to the Holy Bible, but it's every word that he has uttered, past, present, and future, because all of it contains his power. I know a lot of us, I'll speak for myself, if I didn't see it in the word of God, I didn't believe you. But I do understand on today that there is a such thing as a rhema word. Even though what you say has to connect to something in the word, it does not have to say, it doesn't have to say exactly what the word of God says in order for me to understand that it is God speaking to me through you. He said, but every word that I have uttered, past, present, and future, contains my power. He told me to tell you that on the journey of life that each one of us embark on daily is getting us to the place daily of the fulfillment of his word. Everything that God spoke to us, spoke through us, spoke about us, spoke over us, anointed us for, we are supposed to walk that out daily. We are supposed to walk out the word of God for our lives on a daily basis. Oftentimes, through our daily walk, we experience obstacles that strive to prohibit this goal. But he said there's power in the word of God. Amen. The word that is spoken over our lives to fulfill is more powerful than the obstacles that come to prohibit the fulfillment of the word of God. Because there is power in the spoken word. He told me to tell you that we focus more on the reason these obstacles come and the problems that they produce, more so than the actual problem that we are in. Now in life we're gonna go through things, but we should not focus on the who, the what, the whens, the wheres, and the whys of what we are going through. And because of this, because our focus is distorted, he says our problems aren't being solved. Every one of us right now has either gone through something, is currently in something, or will go through something. That's just life. And that's how life is set up. Life is not set up for us to walk through this life. And I hate to keep on harping on it, but that's where God has me at for such a time as this. We all are struggling and going through something at this moment, or we will go through something. But the focus should not be on why we're going through it, how we're going through it, why we're going through it. But the focus should be that we have a problem. Our problems come to agitate the pride that is within us. And it comes to toggle the outlook that we have regarding ourselves. Now, whatever it is that you're facing, whether it's directly affecting you, whether it's coming from your spouse, whether it's coming from your children, whether it's coming from your job, whether it's coming from you to you, it matters not. It is coming to agitate pride. And the pride that we should not have. The pride that gives birth to the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eye, and the things that God said that we should turn away from. And it's to put us in the position of focusing on the situation or the circumstances surrounding the problem, instead of just simply acknowledging that there is a problem. Because acknowledgement of the problem will reposition us to the placement of help. Understand me. I don't have to go and express the who, what, when, where's, and whys to get the help that I need. I just need to know that I have a problem. Whenever God was talking to me, he reminded me of the Syrophoenician woman that came to him. And this story is found in Matthew 15:21 through 28. He spoke to me and he said, she didn't come telling him why her child was possessed or when she knew of the possession. She just came to him specifically about the problem. I have a demon-possessed child and I need help. So, even met with adversity, because when she came to Jesus, the disciples told Jesus to turn her away. He told them that he could not, but we'll get further into the story to find that out. But the reason why they told Jesus to turn her away is because she wasn't a Jew. She was a Canaanite woman. And to them, at that time, Christ didn't come for everybody. He just specifically came for the Jews. So they felt like she couldn't receive her help. Even so far as to Christ telling her some words that if he would have said it to me, or maybe he would have said it to you, he probably would have knocked us off of our game. But a few things I believe that the Syrophoenician woman knew beyond the insults, beyond the getting turned away, beyond all of the situations surrounding what she was going through at that time, she realized that she had a problem. She had heard that he was the help for the problem that she had. She was there in the midst, so close to the problem solver that she could literally touch him, and she couldn't leave without discovering the power of the word. A lot of times we be in position so close to getting our problem solved, but for whatever reason, whether it be the agitation of our pride, whether it be our outlook, whatever it is, but we're so close to getting that ailment cured, we turn away from it because we allow something to come and distract us from what we are here for, what we are needing to do in the place where we're here to receive our help. We all are going through something, but God is inviting all of us to discover the power of his word. He said, who shall separate us from the love of God? He goes on to say, name a number of things. Those things should not be important to us whenever we are seeking to receive our help. My issue could be solved, will be solved by a spoken word after acknowledgement of just the problem. I was looking at something on the internet, and it was about this lady. They do different documentaries on different people who are struggling with issues, and this lady was giving her testimony, and she was saying a lot of stuff. She started off by saying, it's a bit graphic, but she started off by saying when she was a little child, from very, very early on, I think she said 6 or something like that, she was sexually abused by her stepfather. And the things that she suffered and the things that she endured at the hand of her stepfather, were just atrocious. And do not get me wrong, I do not discount anything that anybody goes through. Because like I said, we all have been through something that has been traumatic, that probably has changed our path for some reason or another. But what I keyed on to what she said, and what I locked onto what she said was, she was like, this is all I know. And she was referring to the abuse that she endured. She was like, how am I supposed to change? How am I supposed to do better? She said, I know I'm supposed to change. She goes, but how do I do that whenever this is all I know? She said, what am I supposed to do? And I believe a lot of us needs to get to the place of, what am I supposed to do? And in that time, and in that place when we get to the what am I supposed to do, we have to discover the power of the Word of God. Even if all you know is abuse, even if all you know is trauma, even if all you know is drama, even if all you know is hurt, pain, agony, defeat, it still does not make you ineligible to discover the power of the Word of God. So, as God was ministering to me and telling me all what he was telling me, as far as he don't need to know, oh, well, God, I don't love because she don't love me. Lord, I'm a crackhead because all I did was see my mama smoke crack. Or I'm a whoremonger because all I saw was my dad cheat on my... He don't need to know all that. I said, well, God, what about investigating why we are like we are so we can get to the root of it so we don't have to repeat it? I said, what about that? Because I feel, naturally speaking, I feel like if we don't understand the nature or, like I said, the who, what, when, where's, and why's of things, then we might have a option of repeating in the future what we are trying not to do. And he was like, you speak like one that does not know me. I was like, oh, God, well, forgive me. What am I supposed to know from this? What am I supposed to take from that? He was like, I said, no, I don't need no extra. I just need to know you have a problem. I already know you have the problem. I already know why you have the problem. I already know when the problem started. I know where it came from. Maybe I sent the problem. I don't need to know any of that. He said, because the power of my word is so potent, there will be no repeats after I have judged the matter. I said, all right, Jesus, I understand. He's like, there's no need for investigation. There's no need to figure out nothing. If you come to me in sincerity, in earnest, understanding that you have a problem and cry out to me for help, the problem is solved. You don't need to go back and visit anything because the problem is solved. He said, I killeth and I maketh alive. What I have destroyed in your life is destroyed. You don't have to go back to the place where I destroyed it to pick it back up because there's nothing to go back to. So there's no need for further investigation. You just need to believe the power of my word. Discover the power of God through his word. He said, and that is the only place where we can find forward movement. I can't find forward movement in explaining why I have the problem. You can't find forward movement in explaining why you have your problem. You can't even find forward movement for somebody else explaining why somebody else has their problem, to excuse the behavior that they exhibit for their problem. Because I know a lot of times with me, I was dealing with somebody, and through the dealing, I understood that a lot of things had happened to this person that were traumatic that I couldn't even understand because I've never been through that. In fact, everything that they have gone through, I've experienced the opposite of it. So instead of going to that person and giving that person what Christ has given me to give them, I was like, well, no, I can't say it like that. You know, God, give me another thing to say. Give me another way to say it, because if I say it like that, then considering what they've been through, it's going to destroy them. I'm like, Lord, where's love and kindness through that? But God reminded me, and I went on and said what I had to say, you know, but God reminded me of the fact that, you know, it's not for me to feel for that person. It's for me to be obedient to what God has told me to give to that person, because the power of the word is going to make alive. The power of the word is going to kill whatever is in that person that need not be. The power of the word is going to change the person. I'm not the changer on today, but Christ is. The forward movement is in the place of acknowledgement. Forward movement is in the place of the power of the word of God. Because God told me to tell you, if we stop here, considering everything that's going on, I'm talking about like the world, what's going on in the world. If we stop right now and right here, our hope is going to die where we stop. And when hope dies, there's no reason to go on. When hope dies, there's no reason to leave. You have got to have hope in order to make it. You can't make it without it. Period. But he also told me that he is hope. And he can't die. So if I grab onto that, then I will not die, but I'll live. If you grab onto that, you will not die, but you will live and go forth to declare the works of the Lord. The working of the Lord is your healing on today. The working of the Lord is your salvation on today. And not salvation from, I'm talking about eternal salvation, but I'm talking about salvation from the life things that happen to us that come to take us out. The hope of the Lord is our salvation at that time. That I can still withstand. I can be going through turmoil. I can be going through hell in my heart, in my mind. I can be having sickness in my body. I can have things happen to me, you know, whereas it causes discomfort or pain. I can hear about things happening to my family members, and I can still declare the works of the Lord. That I shall not die, but I'll live in this place. I can be fighting with my spouse, but I shall not die, but I'll live in this place to declare the work. My marriage is healed. My child is healed. My child is saved. I am saved. I am delivered. My mother is healed. My son is coming home from jail. I will not die, but live to declare the works of the Lord, because there is power in the word of God. God bless you.